Arbitrum or other layer 2, we're not trying to compete with them. So for TVL or the app or number of active user or something. So what we're trying to do is we want to work as an innovative blockchain for all the innovations. Actually, we had a lot of new EIP or experiments for selling L1 solution, trying to run on the real world. We want to help Ethereum to scale. So that's what we are doing and our goal here.
Hello everyone, my name is JT Song. I'm from Zero-G Labs. So basically Zero-G, we are building the largest AI layer 1 now. What we are doing differently is we are not only focused on chain, we're using the infinity scaling to align all the storage data and even the computing and the on-chain service from one side. So basically, if you are a decentralized AI project, you can build on Zero-G and also put the AI fully on chain. So that will rebuild the whole the operation system for the decentralized AI. We currently today today we just launched our new the marketplace for the AI agent. The name is Infra Wars. So our mainnet will be planning to be live very soon, and our testnet with version 3 already have 2,300 million of users. So we are actually one of the I think most innovative new L1. Yeah. So please, if we can discuss more later. Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy Mian from Singapore. I am a licensed fund manager. I invest in various kind of verticals, including artificial intelligence. I'm also a book writer, and of course, I do a lot of posting on X. So nice meeting everybody. And of course, I'm also a strong advocate in the decentralized world. I'm currently chairing a movement called Decentralized, and I love to spread decentralization to everybody. Thank you.
And thank you for all the speakers for the great intro. And so here comes our first question. And we all know that AI models has a lot of complexity, and the users of AI, they care about speed. But that is kind of the trade-off of Web3 applications, which highlights decentralization over speed. So how are emerging consensus mechanisms and layer 2 solutions being redesigned to handle the computation and bandwidth demands of AI workloads? So how about start with Jiahao?
Yeah, sure. I think for any of the decentralized AI solutions, so my background is in computer science, graduate Oxford, and then worked in financial industry for the past 10 years as a global lead there, governing over all the financial infrastructure, especially. So that's where I realized that data silo is quite an important issue. That you need to have enough data to follow a good model, but in most cases in such industries, right, you can't have all the data to be gathered together. So same as decentralized AI, we want every data, every person's personal information to be secured in their own nodes. We don't want to share them everywhere. So that's why we created this infrastructure called Block, federated learning and blockchain, to help with the facilitation of on-chain democratization, that you don't have to believe in a third-party API or Google say that they're going to do this for you. All the transactions is transparent and eligible on-chain. That's the beauty of it. So in terms of solutions or the tech stacks that people are looking into, I guess later maybe Zero-G will talk about it also. There are lots of the layers, lots of builders trying to figure out different ways, right? So in the whole AI space, there's basically 3 components that you need to work on. The data, model, and the compute. So either one of these or several of these, you can decentralize them. That's basically the solution many of us are working right now. Like for data, how do you decentralize those data? You don't keep those data in one single place, right? You store them separately in each other's container. Or the compute, like many of the players in the market right now, doing decentralized compute, aggregating compute powers from different vendors, from different people, even your GPU at home. and also the model side. I think model is the hardest one. That's where Blockchain, right? We train decentralized model, and together with some of other friends in the whole ecosystem, trying to build a model in a decentralized way that does not really touch your personal info, to make sure the compute happens as close as your source data. So that's the only way to keep everything local and private. So yeah, that's basically our solution next step.
Yeah, so using AI to optimize for the blockchain infra design is definitely feasible. You just mentioned like the consensus parameters or like validators, but yeah, so that's definitely are all like good examples. But we just need to be very careful about how they make decision, what the process looks like, and whether the result got changed or not. So we need to bring the real transparency to all this kind of like AI progress. Like if we're using model, is it running like offline or online? So that is bring the thing is we have to scale the blockchain. When I say scale is in terms of like the TPS, transaction per second, and also the on-chain space, which can host the real on-chain data. We all know there are like two kinds of like blockchain right now. So one is monosis blockchain, which is like Solana, and another one is modular blockchain, like Ethereum. So they're going like two different ways. So for Ethereum, since it do has like execution layer, layer 2s, and also like the data, the TA for the data, and different things. So actually, all these layer 2s, which like different chains, cross chains, they're within the one ecosystem. And what we're trying to build, one product we build is storage. So it's like a shared, data layer for all these kind of like layer 1 or layer 2 within the EVM ecosystem. But if it's like monosis, then the scaling may be a little like different. So to ultimately using AI more smart, I think what we are trying to focus here is help the blockchain reach the capacity. The TPS level or the on-chain storage level and make it better.
Actually, this is a very good question. So the idea is blockchain, especially for the public chain, the design and the on-chain transactions is before the AI booming. So that created the problem. So even the on-chain transaction speed are very fast. Current the single consensus cannot solve the problem for the requirement for the booming of AI. It's a little bit like the traditional car makers, for example Toyota or BMW. They using their current the factory to build the new energy car, like the Tesla's car. It's impossible because the operation system on one side is different. So what we are doing differently is we are actually using multiple and modular consensus mechanism. So for example, we built the single POW consensus for the decentralized storage, and also similar the decentralized computing. But we align all the different modules from the POS on the top of the on-chain. So we align all the data service, cloud service, computing service with our the top of the POS consensus system. So that will help. We have unlimited the transaction possibility and also the align with the computing and the storage service. That will help the AI to be using free on-chain. So that will be quite different for the current layer 1. The technique for the technique development for this system actually is very difficult, but we actually have already done the major job in our testnet array. So in the future we can see, for example, your decentralized AI project from the data storage side and from trading for your data information and data on 0G, and we don't need to using other centralized service like AWS or other like the cloud service for the trading, and but you using the Solana and other public chain to put on chain because the system is separately. We try to build all the idea just from one side. That's a little bit different. Thank you.
I have to agree that full decentralization, right now remain a big challenge for this bandwidth AV AI. So I just want to keep things very simple. Number one, I think that computing part is definitely a must. Storage, if we can do it decentralized, I think it's great. But we should always find ways to make sure that the security part of things in the infrastructure is well managed. It's not so much about AI or decentralization. It's also about how the whole system is being managed and how the system can be managed more effectively, without any issues or any losses, with the users, without any losses or without any hacks, for the platform. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for all the speakers. And now the next time we will move on to the data sovereignty in AI training. So we all know that like OpenAI and big companies, they now have a lot of users' data they use to train AI models. And I'm curious that what our speakers think that what infrastructure innovations are enabling users to maintain true ownership over their data while still allowing AI models to train on decentralized data sets.
Okay, so I can start. So as I mentioned earlier, previous question already, basically there's 3 important components, right? Data, compute, and model. So for us, we're focusing on the model side, and the technology itself is called federated learning. It's a thing that developed by Google in 2017, meaning that so everyone now, if you're using Google's phones or Apple's phones, right, your typing habit prediction is done by federated learning, meaning that they don't submit your data or upload your data to a third party or to their own server. Everything still stays local, but they can still run the model to predict your next typing word. Because otherwise, all your privacy could be forfeit to Google or whoever, right? So the only thing here is it's still centralized control. Google is in the middle, so actually Google can see everything if they want. That's why we want a blockchain to join this governance, so you don't have to believe in a third party, everything that you can see on the chain. So back to Ting's question about how we gonna how this tech can help with decentralized models. That's exactly how basically federated learning are doing in terms of the model aggregation, the gradient aggregation that you don't have to upload or submit users' raw data. Instead, you're submitting a change on the models where the models can merge together into a larger one. So in that sense, that none of the users' raw data ever being submitted or transmitted to any third places. It's all just within their own devices. So yeah, that's our solution, and I believe there are other ecosystem solutions that we can all help and work together to build this decentralized AI world. For example, zero-knowledge proofs, trusted distribution environments, right? That can all be added on to one structure where the models trained in federated learning or in a flock way, and also the transmission can be further enhanced by ZK or TE, where we actually have our paper published called ZKFL. That's one of the pioneer research that we do with Israel Foundation. Oh, by the way, we're also granted by Israel Foundation for the AI infra research, especially on this side. So I think there are, we're pushing more of these possibilities together with all our resources, with many of the eco players.
So we're not doing AI training or model ourselves, but we are trying to support that and make things just easier. Like I mentioned before, so there's like modular blockchain and modular blockchain. So for the modular blockchain, so there is like a shared DA layer. So there's like Ethereum DA, Atom DA, ML, or Celestia. So we're, no matter what kind of DA solution, we're just helping them to work is we need to bring everything on chain. And if we try to bring everything on chain, so that the whole progress and the model, the results, we know like it will not be changed, and we know like anyone just using that and how it can be used, right? In that case, back to the problem again, we need like more scalable like blockchain. So in terms of like storage capacity, and also maybe more smart contracts and faster smart contracts like parallel EVM. So those are the things we are working on.
Yeah. So from current, I think most of the blockchain asset, even for the ERC 721, the problem is even the replication is on chain, but the storage data is not on chain. For example, from last circle there is a very famous NFT collection named NoX. Because the operation team they didn't suspect the service for the storage picture. So the ERC 721, because the picture is stored in the IPFS, some centralized storage. So after they didn't pay, all the picture has to go to the back. So that will be not tolerated for the AI in the future. So what we are doing, for example, ZOG, we are building the fully on-chain data service, for example, for the decentralized storage there. So we currently have a new standard FT. The name is IFT. So that means if you are using your AI agent, all the data for the AI agent can be storage on our decentralized storage service. Also, we can trace all the training process from the ZOG ecosystem. And also this IFT, it can be verifiable and tradeable fully on chain. So the data from data side is quite different, the idea, comparing the traditional ERC 71 or even for the other some standard from the traditional Ethereum standards. So that will help if someone not operation the project, even the AI agent itself can be involved by themselves. And all the process and data can be traceable and transparency. So that's what we are trying to do. Yeah, because I think what's the problem for the traditional on-chain is the efficiency of the computing is too slow. But we are using our the computing service in a different layer, so that will help to speed up all the transactions. Actually, the ZOG research team, we just done research together with China Mobile. So we are using the decentralized training model. Training together for the 100 billion training model during the same time. This training model actually much faster than the centralized training. So we are building the different idea to make the decentralized training and the computing even maybe more faster in the future. Okay, but this will be a slow process. We are already on the way. Okay, thank you.
So I had a conversation with one of the Southeast Asian government, perhaps like 2 months ago. We talked about things like the zero data AI architecture, and I think all these things are really possible. And this whole process of zero data, in my humble opinion, is that we could actually use blockchain to enforce some of these rules, use blockchain solutions to emphasize on how we can do a fair bit of audits, on this architecture. And that is actually a win-win solution, for both the AI space, the blockchain space, and it becomes a really nice way to do more efficient this AI training, right? So in my opinion, I still think that if possible, of course, I would love to see both the data, computation, everything will be on chain. But from a more productivity standpoint, I just felt that it is not very feasible for the current infrastructure. But anything is possible, right? Just give us some time. Thank you.
Okay, because we're a bit running off schedule, so I'd like to start with the last question, which is a bit more interesting. Because we all know that there's a lot of AI application ecosystem, and there's a lot of AI and Web3 applications. So I'm curious that what do you think is the killer feature or the best aspects of decentralized and Web3 systems that you think AI applications must use? For example, why not just build an AI app? Why does it have to have something to do with Web3?
So yeah, I think for our case, especially on the private AI side, I'm not quite sure all the other speakers or their definition of chain or AI blockchain meaning. For us, it's majorly the way, the mechanism that can help you to secure your data decentralized. And back to the question you asked, what do you think is a killer application? I guess if privacy is only something good to have, it wouldn't be some mass adoption. Right? It has to be somewhere applicable in the places where only private AI can solve the issue, right? So in places, as I mentioned, like banking, healthcare, public sectors, like nations. So many of such places, of course, private AI is a key application, but it's too enterprise focused, right? If we talk about retail focus or some of the retail applications that actually we're building right now to help users to have more secure AI that they can use personally, those are the places where I see the mass adoption can be. So, for example, maybe FansNetwork, right? Once it has the private AI feature, then, well, of course, first of all, we can all gather the idea where why FansNetwork is important. Everybody maybe need some comforting sometimes. Chatting with a virtual or real girlfriend or friend, by the way. So, but many of those conversations might be very important or private to yourself that you don't want. You obviously don't want anyone else to see it, right? So these are the areas where if I can be sure that this conversation is secure and safe, and also the character I'm talking to is as realistic as possible, then this will be the healing application where I see will be very applicable, especially in the AI blockchain intersection.
So once Vitalik forced us, how do you view the future for Ethereum? Is it like a finance-related app or two, or is it like something else? So because previously we know majority of the application is DeFi, or like trading related. So we trade a lot of like meme or like related like token. We're using the ERC20 to generate a lot of tokens. But he said, I really want Ethereum to become like a world computer. So I want to see more and more diversified for the application side. For example, like AI agent or decentralized, content platform or whatever. That's what we believe as well. So that's why we called our, innovative like blockchain as super world computer. So we are trying to help Ethereum scaling in terms of, the more parallel EVM size, faster speed, and also the more on-chains, capacity and the less on-chain cost. In that case, we believe there will definitely be non-financial related like applications came out, and which is more mass adoption and more users.
Yeah, so first I will comment this question on the last answer. We are actually building everything's on chain, including the computation and storage. It's not that easy, but actually we are already processed very well. Yeah, so for the application side, I think decentralized AI, currently they are facing and they're realizing they have some problems. Even like the open AI,
blockchain and Web3, for example, is to teach them how to make money, right? So I felt that those AI agents that could help users onboard, help users to do some good trades. I think those are really nice applications to have in this cycle. And I think the cycle is still nice and maybe will last a lot longer. So I think such application is going to be really sexy, especially for people who are new. And again, coming from the infrastructure standpoint and so forth, from a more ideology standpoint, is that I felt that, from my end, I felt that, things like the Web3 right now, I really felt that it's not really that decentralized. So I always coined the term Web4, because I felt that if there's a chance for us to redo it again, with all these AI experts in this panel, I think something like the Web4 would be a lot better. It would be a much more decentralized environment, less control, more AI driven. I think that should be the future for all of us. At least, again, it's my humble opinion. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. This is Australian